You just need to make them bleed.
What is going on, Division 2 agents? Welcome back to the channel. It's the Werewolf Gaming, and today, guys, I am excited to showcase the new exotic mask, the Tinkerer mask. This mask is amazing, primarily because of the talent that comes on it. And if you aren't familiar with this mask, guys, the only way you can obtain it as of right now is by completing the new Climax mission that was just released on Tuesday. And overall, guys, it's a pretty good mission. You can match make if necessary, or you can even, some builds, there are plenty of builds that will allow you to be able to complete it solo if you do prefer to play solo. With that being said, there is a bug that is going on right now that is keeping some players from attaining this mask. And for what I've been hearing is the developers did recommend that you do not use any gear sets or any exotic weapons that apply some sort of status effect on the enemies. I did manage to luck out on the team that I did play with, and we tackled it, and I don't think anybody in our group was using any status effects, and I did put a video out on that earlier part of this week. With that being said, though, guys, this mask is special because of what it can do, and pairing it with the ongoing directive set is just amazing. For those of you who are subscribed, you know how I put out plenty of ongoing directive builds, and not much changes whenever you put this build together, guys. You want to wear all 4 pieces, and you definitely want to wear the chest because it amplifies your damage by 50%. Gamers, I'm going to let you finish watching the rest of this video. We'll go over this build breakdown shortly, and you know, I always like to show you a little bit of gameplay, and then we'll go over the build, and then I'll let you finish up this mission. I do want to give a big thank you to everyone that continues to support me on my channel, especially those who always have something positive to say, guys. Really appreciate each and every one of you for your valued time. Alright, guys, so I did use the Black Market M60E6, and I did craft this gun myself, and as you can see, it is fully maxed out with 0 expertise. I intentionally did not put any weapon expertise in this weapon just to show you guys if your watch level is at least 1000, you will be doing the exact same amount of damage that I am doing in this video. As you can see, the core attributes are fully maxed out, and I did roll that 6% damage to armor up there, but you can put whichever attribute you prefer. As you can see, the weapon handling, the accuracy is poor, but the stability is great. With the reload time is horrible as well, but the ongoing directive set kind of helps that out some. The talent I did roll on this gun is called Sadist, and it amplifies weapon damage by 30% to bleeding enemies. After 4 kills, you apply bleed to the next enemy you hit. Alright, the mods that come on this gun, I do have, well, that I put on this gun, a 25% critical hit chance. Did use the large pouch, which gives you 50 more rounds in the magazine, and 10% critical hit damage mod. Alright, your secondary weapon, guys, did not really matter as long as it was the LMG, because you have to use 2 LMGs. But the talent is what we really was going for. And I did put kill up here, guys, but there are plenty of other options when it comes to whatever talent you use as your secondary. And we'll go over that because, you know, that does play a part in your build as well. I tried out multiple different variations of this build, and you know, I like all of them, but I think I was getting the most amount of damage when using killer, but close and personal would have worked great. Alright, pressure point is amazing as well because it amplifies weapon damage by 15% to enemies under status effect. They will constantly be under status effect, and Screamline will work great because you will see in the gameplay, guys, I will not be using my skills that much besides the Banshee pulse every often, so you will keep that 40% increase in weapon damage the majority of the time. Alright, close and personal, if you're unfamiliar, basically killing a target, you have to be within 7 meters though. It grants you 30% increase in weapon damage for 10 seconds. So like I said, there were plenty of options that would work great with this build, but ultimately I did choose the killer talent because, you know, when I was testing it out in the range, I was getting the most amount of damage at a given moment. But with the killer talent, if you're unfamiliar, what that does is basically killing an enemy with a critical hit grants 70% critical hit damage for 10 seconds. Keep in mind, it does have to be a critical hit to count towards that talent. So, but I was able to keep that proc. If you're having trouble keeping that proc, guys, I would recommend using some of those other talents that I did show you. Alright, so to start the show is the Tinkerer mask. As you can see, the core attribute comes with a weapon damage core, and the attributes we was going for critical hit 10s or out of critical hit damage. The talent is what really makes it stands out. It's called Abridged. If your primary and secondary weapons are not exotic or named and of the same type, the secondary weapon's talent would also be applied to the primary's weapon. This does not apply if the primary or secondary weapon talent includes weapon swapping, and it does not apply if the primary and secondary weapon talents are the same. So you cannot have the same talent to get the benefit of this buff, and you cannot have the talent which gives you a benefit when you swap weapons. For the gear set, guys, we did go with the 4-piece ongoing directive set, which 2 pieces gives you 15% increase in status effect, and 3 pieces gives you increase in reload speed. When you have on all 4 pieces, you get the rules of engagement. Basically, shooting a status effect enemy will apply a mark. Killing a marked enemy grants a full clip of hollow point ammo for your active weapon, and a half a clip of the agent's active weapon to the rest of the members in the party. This mark lasts for 10 seconds. Hollow point ammo basically amplifies weapon damage by 20% and applies bleed on hit. I did have a core attribute of a weapon damage core, and the attributes, again, we was going for critical hit chance and critical hit damage. The talent that comes on the chest piece is called Parabellum Rounds, and this increases hollow point ammo weapon damage application to 50%. This bonus does not apply to members in your party, so keep that in mind. Alright guys, and we did go with the holster as the second piece, and I did have an armor core as the main attribute with a 6% critical hit chance. Alright, the knee pads, we did have a weapon damage as the core attribute with a 6% critical hit chance attribute. And for the gloves, we did have the core attribute being an armor with a 12% critical hit damage attribute. For the backpack, guys, we did go with the 1-piece Seska, which gives us 8% increase in critical hit chance, and the core attribute was weapon. And again, we was going for the attributes was either critical hit chance or critical hit damage. The talent that we did have rolled on the backpack was called Unstoppable Force, and killing an enemy increases total weapon damage by 5% for 15 seconds. This stacks up to 5 times to get a 25% increase in weapon damage. Guys, each time you kill an enemy, it will be refreshed, so that way it is amazing. But there are plenty of other talents that will work great if you did not have this talent yet unlocked. And here go a few examples. You could have went with the Vigilance talent, which basically increases total weapon damage by 25%, but keep in mind, if you take damage, you lose the buff for 4 seconds. Alright guys, Creeping Death would have worked is great as well, because anytime you apply a status effect, it is also applied to all enemies within 8 meters of your target. Does have a cooldown of 15 seconds. Wicked was another one that I use from time to time. Applying a status effect increases total weapon damage by 18% for 20 seconds. You will have that all the time, guys, because you will have 100% uptime on the status effect being applied to the enemies. Alright, these were just some other options. Now, you could even use different backpack as well, such as Grupo Sombro. 1 piece would have gave you 13% more in critical hit damage. And of course, roll whatever talent you want. Even if you had the backbone backpack, it is the perfect version of the Unstoppable Force, which basically increases your weapon damage when you get all 5 stacks, up to a 35% increase in weapon damage whenever you get up full stacks. So this is another option, guys, if you wanted to take that route as far as whatever you use. Ultimately, there are so many ways to put this build together. It's up to you as the player. All right, we did go with the Banshee Pulse. Not only just to disorient those enemies, but it does, like I said, a disoriented status effect on the target, which will register as to allow you to proc the talent for the hollow point ammo. We did go with the Revive a Hive just in case it went down. And in the gameplay, guys, was using the Striker Drone as well to draw some aggro and do a little bit of damage as well. Alright, let's take a look at the weapon stats. As you can see, I did have critical hit chance sitting right there at 58% with 127% critical hit damage. Headshot damage was 85% with 6% damage to armor. Alright, so let's take a look at the armor. The armor on this build was pretty squishy, guys, but we did have right there 1,107,213 armor with 110,721 armor on a kill. 0 armor regeneration. One thing I do want to mention, guys, whenever I farm for these gear pieces, I often, I've said this before, as you can see, the main core attribute is a weapon damage core, but I can change that to skill or even more armor if necessary. A lot of times when I farm for these gear pieces, I like to farm to where the attributes come already with critical hit chance or critical hit damage. That way I can just change the core attribute and I can make any type of hybrid build I want. As you see in the gameplay, there's no modifiers were used whatsoever. I wanted to show you the baseline damage of this build, guys, with no weapon expertise or no modifier. So basically, if your SHD level is at least 1,000, you're going to be doing the same damage I'm doing as of right now in this gameplay. All right, we did go with the gunner specialization, and every third reload is 50% faster. You do get 10% armor back on the kill. Whenever you kill an enemy, guys, you increase your rate of fire by 5% for 5 seconds, and you generate 10% of your ammo capacity every 60 seconds, and party members will receive 5% of that. On top of that, don't forget to equip the correct weapon element. Get 15% increase in weapon damage, and this is the only class in which you can use the large pouch on your LMGs, guys, which boosts your magazine capacity by 50%. So keep in mind that is the only way you'll have access to the large pouch. Alright guys, if you like the build, let's give it a thumbs up. Thank you for your valued time and continued support as always. Really appreciate each and every one of you for stopping by. Alright, so stick around. I'm going to show you the rest of this gameplay. D-Werewolf out.
close. They could be in here already.
Vital signs critical.
You, motherfucker!
I'm out of ammo! I'll give you cover! This fucker's engaging from the front!
transmission control module. It handles all communications going in and out of viewpoint. If you reset it, you'll lock out the True Sons and we can take over the channels. Okay, stay by the module and make sure it completes the reset sequence.
Serious trauma detected. Agent incapacitated. Site facilities are reset to default or under direct SHD control.
That's good to hear. Our comms are coming online and the True Sons are in the dark.
Integrity at 75%.
Agent, you've got to stop Wade. We need that radio mast. You won't be able to use your shade tech as long as that EMP jammer is active. Take it out.
System back online. System curtailed. System reactivated. System malfunctioning. System restored. Electromagnetic charge depleted. Facility is ours. True Sons just lost a powerful tool for coordinating their troops and spouting their horse shit. Once we get the radio mast repaired and operational, we can extend the reach of our own broadcasts.